Hello, my name is Curtis. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can put something into practice today that will improve your state and also improve the state of others, which improves the state of the world, right? So it's something you can start practicing right now to make things better. Over here we have a consciousness chart, right? A state of consciousness chart. You can find this online. I forget the guy's name that did this, but it's a pretty common thing, right? So down here you have sort of these lower states, these lower energies, lower vibrations, and then kind of the neutral stuff, and then the positive stuff, right? So the enlightenment, peace, joy, love, those things make us feel good. That's essentially what we want. And then we get down here into like grief, fear, apathy, guilt. That's the kind of stuff that makes us feel kind of icky. We don't really like that stuff. And then in the center, you have kind of the willingness and the acceptance and the neutrality and the things that are kind of like in the middle, right? So this stuff is positive to this stuff is positive to this. And so it's just kind of a raising of the frequency, right? A raising of our energy, raising of our vibration to bring in sort of these higher states, right? When you get into the enlightenment, peace, joy, right, that's a state of being, right? It's not really contingent on external factors, so it's a lot more powerful of an energy. You know, if you get up here into like enlightenment, let's just say we can rate this as like 1,000 versus a state of like guilt or apathy, this would be like 50, right? So it's just a lot more power. It's a lot more, a lot better, right? So here we have person A and we have person B. And person A has an energy field around them. I won't get into like the specifics of energy fields, but just know that your energy goes way further than your physical body, right? So people can feel you from across the room energetically. So person A, person B. Person A has some unhealed trauma internally, and so that often will manifest into the external world, right? Their external experience. The unresolved issues will show up as anger and grief and judgment and resentment and all kinds of stuff that pushes this stuff out. And so they're putting negative energy into the world. The unhealed person puts negative energy into the field, right? You've probably heard the phrase, if you don't heal what hurt you, you're gonna bleed all over people that didn't cut you. And that's why, you know, if you go through a bad, say, breakup or divorce or something like that, and you don't deal with your stuff, you're likely gonna manifest a partner that has all of those same issues, right? If you don't elevate, you're going to keep repeating the same experience, right? The people, places, things, the situations change, but they're all a reflection of you, and so they're really the same situations in disguise, right? So until you learn the lesson, you're not really going to grow. So this person, unhealed energy, putting negative energy into the world. This person over here, if they have some of the same type of stuff going on inside, they're going to see that in that person. They're going to see the negative energy, and they're going to respond to it in a certain way. And I would say the unconscious response to this type of stuff is, I can't believe them. Look at them. Look what they're doing. You know, judgment, condemnation. And so they'll project a lot of that same stuff out into the field. And they're taking that like high and mighty position, right? Like, I'm better than. So what's really happening is they're being dishonest with themselves, that they have unresolved stuff going on inside of them, right? Unhealed issues. They're being dishonest with themselves. They're projecting it back onto this person. So they're showing them, they're being dishonest, they're projecting it back. And what's really happening? We have negativity plus negativity equals double negativity. Right? So we're making the situation worse. This person, no matter what they think, even if they're right, they're making the situation worse, which in fact like makes the world a worse place, right? People complain all the time about how negative the world is, and their complaining makes it worse, right? Any kind of contribution to that energy is going to make it worse, right? So this situation is why the world is the way it is, because we can't do the right thing and shift the energy, right? So what's kind of happening now with this global awakening? This they call it the Great Awakening, or the Age of Aquarius, or New Earth, or any of the different names that are out there for this, where we're getting more light is coming into the world, more energy is coming into the world, better energy is coming into the world, right? People are realizing things that they didn't realize before. They're realizing that it doesn't have to be this way. It can be different, right? So we can raise our consciousness by choice now, right? So this is something you can put into practice today, right? You can choose to be neutral to this person. You can choose to accept this person as being unhealed and creating their own mess, right? So we're just choosing to sort of stay out of that situation, which will in turn kind of neutralize the situation, right? So now we have kind of negative energy here, and we're adding neutral or even positive energy to the situation, right? So negativity plus positivity, let's just say that that's going to equal 0. So it's going to cancel it out, right? So this person choosing consciously to accept, they're willing to look at the situation differently, right? They have the courage to be neutral, to not judge, to just let it be. It actually improves the state, right? Improves the situation, which is how we're going to change the world, right? If we all do this today, it neutralizes all the negative energy, and all of a sudden we have a positive world that we live in, right? Pretty cool. So let's take it one step further. Let's say person B does the work, right? They heal. They deal with the internal stuff to where they're just a clear vessel inside, right? They can flow a ton of light in and project it out into the world. They can literally fill their aura and their energy field with really high frequency energy, right? And this stuff up here is a lot more powerful than this stuff down here, right? So we bring this in and project this out. And this energy is way stronger than this energy over here. So strong, in fact, that it lets this person see that it doesn't really have to be this way. By us being this way, person B choosing to be in a state of love, joy, peace, right? Which is the golden rule, right? Love thy neighbor as thyself, right? Because it is you, it's a different version of you, right? This is your mirror. But by making that choice to bring in that kind of energy, it can completely get rid of this type of energy. Because this person probably doesn't know that there's a different way, right? And so by person B bringing in that energy, it's going to negative plus, let's call this like a positive, right? Or even a triple, it's going to equal a positive state. And this would be like the healers, the light workers, the shamans, right? The beings on the planet that know how to access these higher states. They've done the work, they've done the healing, they've raised their vibration up high enough to be able to help this person out just by being in their presence, right? Because I'm reminding them that it's okay to be this way. And so you can start doing this today, right? You can allow these negative situations to just be. You can choose not to engage. You can choose not to respond. You can choose not to react. You can choose not to be offended, right? Or you can even take it a step further and realize like, hey, they're doing the best they can with what they have. I'm going to love them. I'm going to send them love, I'm going to stay in my state of joy and remind them that it's okay to do that too. And so this is essentially the shift that's happening in the world right now, right? People are waking up. They're realizing that they're connected to everything. They're realizing that they're in control of all of that internal stuff. They might have to take a look at it, which is uncomfortable, but you know, making the shadow come to light is essentially what is going to change the world, right? We have to look at that stuff and deal with it once and for all. So the cool thing about healing is once it's resolved, once it's cleaned up, that's it, right? It's a done deal, and we don't have to worry about that type of stuff anymore. I can say for me on my journey, I started healing in 2019, so it's been 6 years. And 99% of the stuff that used to bother me, that used to bring me these negative states, it just doesn't exist anymore, right? And it's not like I'm missing out. It's not like I'm wanting to be right or any of that stuff. It's just like it's literally gone. Like it's not even an option in my mental construct anymore. Like it's not in my consciousness to the extent that it was in my consciousness before. So very cool time to be alive, right? Like we can take these negative situations and literally turn them into positive situations just by being here. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you guys found value in this, please subscribe to the channel. Share this with somebody if you think it would help them, and reach out if you want to connect. Have a great day.